Yo, what's up, guys? So, this is my game, how it was before, and this is it right now. So, how did I go from that to like what it actually looks like right now? So, it all started with me showing my game to a friend of mine. So, he saw the game and he was like, the combat is actually good, but there was nothing else actually good about it because no graphics, no characters, there's nothing, no story in it. So, wish I had to like start doing some art. So I got someone to help me do the 3D model for the player, and then I was able to make a custom tool shader for it in Godot. You can see it has a little bit of backlight. Yeah, this is I'm currently recording, but this wasn't the sword that was there before. I'll show you guys how I got this. So the thing about a toon shader is so it's a combination of stay at home dev's tutorial on how you did this toon shader because I really wanted it to work with light. So with my old toon shader which I had didn't actually work with light, but this one actually like does. You see it in the game. So the next thing I did was basically like change the environment, the base environment of the player. As you can see, I added a ground plane, different from these other ones that I was using before. And for these guys, I basically used a multi-mesh instance node. They appear to have this initial building which are close to the player, which are just CSG boxes. And then for the um let me look for that. Yeah, look at it here. So multi-mesh instances for the if I zoom out, you can see that part is gone. Yeah, and then I just baked a navigation map stuff around all of them. So that's basically how I got this environment done. I was trying to block out the first level environment of the album, but eventually I couldn't, so I just like slapped every mesh instance that I can find all around. The next stuff I did was to change the old VFX. Like if you see, those were like basically just meshes I was displacing to interpret as lightning. So I got this lightning VFX to watch this tutorial from um Lelu. Yeah, Lelu, and it was really nice. Although I'm going to change it because I'm playing AI limits currently, and I love the way they made their own lightning strikes when you are fighting lost kids. So probably going to change, but this is actually a very good lightning. So this is actually what I basically use for every VFX that has lightning. So one more really cool thing I did, thanks to my friend VCD, that actually like showed me how he did it in what's that GDevelop, because Godot doesn't have a way for you to add a mesh as like a mesh with bone animations as something in the GPU particles node. So basically, what I did there was I got the player model and I just this is for the ghost effect, by the way. Like if I haven't said that, so I basically got the player model, made a custom shader, just basically a Fresnel. I think I just used the Fresnel stuff. If you wanna see it, this is basically the node. It's just basically a Fresnel multiplied and stuff. So it gives it the transparency effect, and I just spawn it and stuff and delete it once the animation is done. I think the animation I made a custom animation for it. So yeah, like new animation, like it just takes 1 second and then it gets invincible and then deletes itself. So that's why I did it. Then there is also the dash VFX that I've showed you that showed before that basically just uh, emits only when the player dashes. So then this is it right there. So it only emits whenever the player dashes. So yeah, and then it hides itself. So that's basically how I did the ghost effects. Later I'm going to actually like make that ghost actually electrocute anybody it touches, but that will be like a skill to something and stuff. So I probably should have released the build as it was here, but I kept on thinking maybe I should actually push myself and do something much more better. So that's why I didn't release that build that I promised I was going to release. So that's what made me actually start going to make a new a new map for the game. So let me open that scene. I think a Cyberpunk City map. Yeah. So this was the next map I basically used. This is a map. So this right here is basically me trying to make it look much more destroyed. I'll come back to why I didn't use this again. So in doing this map, I basically just got this everything right here. I got it from Sketchfab. Probably seeing the uh, images on this in like in the video right now. So I got this on Sketchfab. I was trying to like design an environment with like its apocalyptic city. The place is destroyed, but as you can see, I failed miserably. um I dropped this plane here to just tell a story, maybe a plane crash. Because when I watched some views about environment design, they say the environment should literally like tell a story. So I did that, but yeah, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough, and there are optimization issues, but that's for another video when I talk about optimization. So I showed it this version like to a friend of mine, and that was he just sealed it. Like he just told me that nah, it wasn't good. And one of the things he actually talked about was a pixelated effect, which was caused with aliasing stuff. So if I search anti-aliasing right now, I think I'm using I'm actually like using anti-aliasing. Yeah, so if I cancel this, you can see it looks much more grainy and pixely. But if I do this, it's smoother around the edges. Probably something you probably know in game. This only works in mobile rendering, which I'm basically using for the PC build of the game. So yeah, that was what I first of all did. But the environment, one of the issues I have with this environment was it was just too big. Like the space is just too big. So I had to go and look for that environment. And that's when I saw this guy. Now this was the final environment I decided to use. Now one thing I love about this environment is like I just basically downloaded this model also from Sketchfab. And okay, first of all, let me just turn off the fire because the fire actually played a huge role that actually like made this look really good. So let me just turn off the fire. This is it without the fire, by the way. So one of the environment is not that big, it's small. So by placing things around, it was it felt like they actually were meant to be there. For example, let me go back to the Cyberpunk City. You can see the space between these two cars, like it's too much, but in here it just fits. And what I actually used as reference was Devil May Cry 5, the bridge in the first level. I just looked at it and I was like, yeah, it's not that much of a big space. Like it's just very small, compact space with a lot of things. Then the story. If you're looking at this, you'll be like, okay, this guy, somebody left this van, yeah, and ran away. This is how this van actually came with the environment and stuff. But these other cars, I just dropped them. You might be asking, oh, why did this building actually like fall? Eventually going to be shown in the cutscene, but for now, yeah. So that's why I love this environment. So the next thing that I did that I haven't touched on was post processing. Before I talk about the fire, so post processing also played a huge role, and in Godot 4, you mostly can handle it with the camera node. So this is post processing. Normally, I'm using Sky. I have a Sky HDRI that I got from Fab, not Sketchfab. Fab is an Unreal Engine. This is Sky HDRI stuff. So I got it. Probably show you dropping in the video image of the asset right now. So I got that. Then you can see my settings, ambient lines. I really still don't know. This actually really works in mobile rendering too. Doesn't really pay like much of a role. You can see there's literally like no difference if you turn this off and on in compatibility mode. So also set tone map to filmic, and I loved A6, but it was high, it was like too the contrast was too high. And then I also enabled glow, and this is going to probably going to sound funny for a lot of people, because I was actually working with compatibility mode a lot. I didn't know Glow had different levels. So yeah, when I switch to mobile rendering, you're gonna see it. Then I also use fog. I use fog since when I'm working with this Cyberpunk City. You can see the fog actually like plays a huge role here, and it actually works here. But here is 10 times better. Like, look at this. Come on, and this is just compatibility mode. So I use fog, just a normal fog. I'm not using volumetric fog because I want this game to play in phones and stuff. Optimization video coming next because that's a definitely very big issue. Then I worked on adjustments. This is very very like important. I think I've figured out the adjustment before I even came to this environment. So adjustment, what basically can you do? Brightness. Yeah, you wondering how to increase brightness in game? This is how you do it in Godot. Then you can see that I set saturation to basically 2 because I needed the colors to pop out. So you can increase, you can reduce, but for me, love 2. 2 is like very good. Then there is color correction. Now there are other much more advanced way to use this. Like you can use the what year is it? There's this curve curve XYZ, but that's too complicated for me to understand. But I just love this. This increases the like make it a little bit darker. This makes it brighter. It's basically like the brightness stuff. So yeah, I just use that left at default. Uh, yeah, that's how I got it to look like this. And for the environment, I framed this thing. It's supposed to be like a portal of hell because change the game entirely to a different game. If you know one of my old games, I made Heavenly Ghost, so I'm like remaking it all later in the future. So you can, if it stand there like this, frame that. Most of the thumbnails you guys saw is basically me framing this shot, and you can see how this environment, like the whole perspective, leads to that angle. Like that's why I love this environment, and it taught me a lot about environment design. I wanted to go to 2.5D because I was getting frustrated, but this actually like motivated me to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try harder in doing this. So yeah, that's basically that. So now there are some bad size incompatibility modes. It's very easy to run, good, but there's the shader compilation issues like a lot. Like I've done, I mean, my shader compilation scene. I think I have that open. So in my shader compilation, like I don't really know if I'm doing it wrongly, but you can basically see all the VFX I have in this game. These are all the particles, not even like shaders, the particles effect, all the particles. These are all of them right here in the game. I don't know if maybe for the mobile version I will switch back to CPU particles because in fact for compatibility mode to switch to CPU particles because GPU particles just makes the game freeze immediately. It will take a while for it to boot up. So mostly if it just shows once, it won't happen again. But in Godot, it keeps in like if you restart the game and all that, like you need to like do that before the game starts. That's what the shader compiler is supposed to do. So I have my code here which I spawn all the VFX, like I do 2 layers of compiling your shaders, spawning them and showing this original one, and still yet, yeah, it's still the stuff that's for performance video. I'm still working on this, but when I'm done, I'll let you know. Okay, so back to the cyberpunk to the city. Now, adding fire actually like improve the environment a lot, especially in the mobile rendering. So let me just turn on the fire. So adding fire just like I don't know, just took the scene from like meh to wow. Like just look at this, man. Just look at this. So how did I like do the fire? It's just a simple fire VFX. I got the texture, the fire texture. You can see there's the hot side and then there's uh the dark shadowy part. It actually looks much more better in mobile rendering. So I have this texture. I will probably be showing you the video that you can get this fire texture from. Forgotten his name, but he does VFX tutorials and stuff. I think it's in the materials. I have the albedo. You can see the fire texture. Basically, what I just used and made a simple particle VFX thing to show the fire and stuff. So yeah, that's how it got, this place got better. And as the environment is like not that big, it also helps in the storytelling of it. So yeah, like it can be like, oh yeah, a missile landed here or something. So that's for that. Let me switch to mobile rendering, and you can I will talk show you something. Okay, so why my like the Godot restarts? Let me show you something about animation and the models. So this is basically the old model I was using, and this is the new model I'm using. Now I didn't reanimate everything. If you're working in animation, you basically know about retargeting. So since I used the Mixamo rig for the original, I just re-rig this with Mixamo. So it just takes over the entire animation. Like I don't need to reanimate everything. Although there are issues with bone spacing. For example, you can see right here. This is here. This is like this one looks smaller. So for some actions, like let me go attack one and switch this guy to attack one. You'll see the difference. So let me slow it down. So right now, this is an old animation I did. So yeah. Um, you can see right here like this guy hand, like it basically enters his chest, whereas it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, so that's just something you want to know. I was struggling with sword swinging when I made this animation, so yeah. uh so yeah, I'm going to remake this animation, but these are just some kind of stuff you want to like know about. Just basically, if you are long as it's the same bones, you can just retarget it. I think in this super attack one, you basically like see the difference. I think let me see, super attack one. So right here, this is it. So yeah, even like there's something in the Mixamo rig that used to make me get angry because of stuff like this. Like I can see the way this guy is here, and this guy basically just gets, I don't know what's going on there. So because of the bone spacing, so it's something I'm definitely going to like have to touch and can see then pull. This one is actually really good. It's actually almost accurate, but I think the arm is different. You can look at it this way, like it's kind of a little bit different, and then stab. I think I reworked this guy, that's why it kind of looks better than this, but still definitely need to work on this, like the bonus. So yeah, you can retarget animation when you make with one rig, continue with that rig so that you can just retarget the animation. You can just like, you can see basically I'm just swapping, both of them are using the same action because it's the same bones. I can just click this guy, okay, use this action, and he will just basically do that action. So retargeting, keep note of that. So back to Godot. Godot will be ready by now. So this is the game in mobile rendering. Now this is the one you basically saw in the thumbnail something. So first things first I'm going to notice is that the glowing is not that much, but there's a way the light scatters around the environment. Like it just looks 10 times better. Shader compilers, ignore them. So this is basically like, let me turn off the fire and you see, look at the ground, like you can see the little bit of the light just goes off and all that. And in mobile rendering, shader compilation is not an issue. Like it basically works. Vulkan actually does that much more better than GLES. So yeah, so for PC builds, I'm basically going to be uploading for mobile, except for web. Web is going to be compatibility because it's only compatibility you can export as socks, which they can make it work with OpenGLES and stuff. But for mobile phones, not all phones have Vulkan. Like my phone, for example, is the potato of all potatoes, and it can render, it will just show black screen, literally. So I'm basically using compatibility mode. I'm trying to optimize it and all that. So for some things that I've done for the optimization, this entire buildings in the back, you can see the entire map is basically just this area. And I turned all of this to basically just textures. They are just cubes with screenshot of the textures slap on them. It's optimization technique. I saw this in Devil May Cry 5 and I was like, okay, I can do this. Like the environments farthest away, like the buildings farthest away are basically just textures they slap like this. So that's basically what I did there. I can still make them look better if I use normal and displacement to like add more details to it, but I don't really think that is necessary. But it helps the game run in 60 FPS on my device steady. I clamped my system to 60 FPS, by the way. Some of you might run higher than that, but it is what it is. So I showed the game back to the people that actually made did this. I showed the game to them, and the first person who told me he didn't understand anything about the game saw the game and he was like, "Good." He loved it as a mobile game, like it was actually good. But the other guy told me that the game wasn't good enough. Uh, he even told me to reference touchdown. Uh, yeah, I couldn't make my game look as good as touchdown, and he said it's still not good enough. So I don't know what I'm going to do next because of I had optimization issues and I was breaking my head to fix that. I couldn't add more stuff. So if you have any ideas on what I'm going to do next, to make it look better, please let me know. So as of this video, the current build is currently on ishi.io, and I want to upload it on Crazy Games too, just to get as much feedback as I possibly can about the combat and all that stuff. Currently, I'm working on the burger game, but when I'm done with that, I'm going to come back to this game and going to start working on art, working on my modeling skills so I can model things and get this project finished as soon as possible. So yeah, I have short attention span when it comes to projects. Sometimes I just look at it and I get bored to work on it. So yeah. For the optimization video, that will be. I'm still working on it. When I come back to the game, I'm working on it. I've got the game playing from 4 FPS to like 15, 20 FPS on my phone. So that's good news. But I'm still optimizing. That's basically what made me, made these things or cubes with textures slapped on them. Core optimization. So yeah, that's it for this video. If there's anything you liked as you watched it, please let me know. If you like this video, please like the video. If you want me to touch more on some things, make a tutorial about it, please let me know. And I'll see you also join my Discord. Please join my Discord. Link is in the description. I go live sometimes, once in a week, twice. I don't know. It's not consistent. I just do it when I'm bored and I need to, talk because I'm alone every time in the house. I need to touch grass. So I just stream sometimes to just talk. So if you see me live, please come in, let's chat, hang out and stuff. So thanks for watching. I'll see you. Join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Peace out. Also, thanks for staying this long. The video is basically like 26 minutes long, so arigato gozaimasu. Bye.